Kishore Manohar is my guest here in the studio today for Going Beyond. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Kishore heads a very unusual project. He is the head of the Apollo Shine Foundation. They are very interesting because of what they are doing, but I'm not going to let on. I'm going to let Kishore tell me what it's all about. Kishore, thank you for coming in here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
When did this whole thing start now?
It started in 2015, basically, when our chairman, who has always championed the cause of non-communicable diseases, he was saying that we need to start something at the school level, at the grassroots, to get this into students' minds that non-communicable diseases are a big deal. And we were always wondering how to go about this. So we thought, okay, we should turn the regular school health checkups into something more substantial, something that is not as transactional as it used to be. And that's how this whole thing started.
Right. Now, I can't recall that there are that many schools that have ever had a health checkup that you've just said.
Yeah.
I mean, is this a fact or am I just imagining that?
Well, health checkups have actually always been there. Even when I was in school, there were health checkups.
Really? I went to the wrong school then.
They would line us up and we would do this health checkup, and we didn't really know too much about it. That was probably the reason we felt we needed to do something more. So we came up with this whole idea of Apollo Shine, saying that we will set up an entire health room, take over a little clinic, or if there isn't, we'll even build one.
In the school?
Inside the school.
Okay.
Because, well, the hospital Apollo has doctors, they have nurses, they have ambulance services, they have labs, they have health checkups, everything. What if we took all these services and put them inside a school at cost? So something that was a small fraction of a cost, but would give the school this amenity to give peace of mind to parents and health services to students.
Right. So the whole project is not for profit.
It's a not-for-profit initiative.
Because
yes.
one associates very big hospitals like yours are really conducting their whole healthcare system as if it were a business. So you need to correct me here. Pull me up on that one,
well,
please. Sure.
Healthcare is complex because costs go up as the quality of treatment goes up. Someone needs to explain this to the world in general, and I think it's important to realize that doctors choose their profession because of passion. I believe at least that everyone who chooses medicine as a profession gets in there with a view to make a difference, because you would not want to choose being with ill people every day of your life just for money. So even our chairman, Dr. Reddy, has always spoken about prevention before actually treatment.
Right. So let me draw you out here and ask you that when you first started, how were the schools? Were the schools receptive to the whole idea? Because it was a new one and it's not for profit.
Right. So it's funny because we always thought that schools have rooms and they have students, and we just need to take our little setup and plug it in and tell them that we are a not-for-profit and it should work. It didn't work that way, sadly. I mean, I think a lot of schools are a little wary of people, like you said rightly, trying to make a quick buck.
Yes.
So it took us some time to convince them of our intentions and that we're genuinely a not-for-profit and we're here to do good for the students, for the teachers, and work on them. And as they got that confidence, we started growing.
Right. Now, do the parents have to pay for this facility that you offer them at the school itself?
Yeah, we kind of simplified it by putting it as part of the school fees. So you pay for so many things in your fees. One of them is the Apollo Shine Foundation.
Okay.
And it's a very, very simple model. We took all our costs and just broke it down by the number of students and gave them a tiny little number. Okay. So it's pretty much the cost of a pizza.
Really? As little as that then?
As little as that. But you pay for an entire year where you have access to the health room. It has our nurse. It has a doctor on call. It has medicines. You get your health checkup for the students done. There's a whole bunch of healthcare services. Right. But you can't put a price on peace of mind, which is our main offering.
So tell me something. If my child, just speaking off the cuff, were actually hurt while they're in school, are we saying that then that child has access immediately to some medical care on the spot? Is that what we are talking about?
Yes, definitely. That is the peace of mind factor. Because I know as a parent myself,
Yes.
when you get that call from school saying your child is hurt,
Hurt, yes.
or your daughter is
It's
throwing
very
up,
frightening.
you're going to drop everything and run.
It's scary as
It's
ever.
scary. You have no idea. These are the most precious things in our life.
That's true.
So the Shine Room, nurses are trained to handle all kinds of emergencies. They are all trained by Apollo Hospital's ER team. So they will stabilize the patient. Beyond first aid, the nurse will call a doctor to see if there's anything further that needs to be done. And of course, in case of an emergency, which is very rare.
Right.
But in case of an emergency, the nurse then calls the ambulance and manages.
So are you saying then that the nurse is constantly there during school hours?
Yes. The nurse is there from start to finish of school.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell me, in these past, 10 years it is, how many schools have you reached? How many children have you reached?
Well, we have tied up with about 150 schools across India, largely in the south.
That's a big number.
It sounds like it, but actually it's just the tip of the very tip of the iceberg.
Well, in our country, everything is a tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
That is true.
Yes.
There are about 54,000 schools in Tamil Nadu alone. So that's how small we are. But we're hoping to grow definitely and be a part of everything. Chairman's vision is to have a Shine Room in every school across the country.
It's called a Shine Room.
Yeah, we call it the Shine Room.
So not the first aid room that we are used to.
Yeah, exactly.
What about in the north of the country, Kishore?
Yeah, we are now in Delhi NCR region. We are in Pune. We are hoping to set up in Mumbai and in Ranchi this year. So that's important for us.
So when we were chatting earlier, you also told me that there have been some schools that have reacted very, very well and are actually picking up the tab.
Yeah, that was really heartwarming. That's when you feel like the world is still a nice place.
I know.
Right? The good news is always when someone says, oh yeah, great, Apollo Shine, we understand what you're doing. But since you're charging us, we don't want to pass these charges on to the students or the parents. So some schools have subsidized it even further. So
Really?
that's half a pizza.
Oh, yeah?
And some schools have decided to pick up the entire tab themselves, schools and colleges.
Right. What about in the rural areas, Kishore? How does it work there? What about a corporation school, or what about a little school in the village, on the village green, as it were? What about those kind of schools?
So I think the basis of preventive medicine is to manage with the resources that we have. We can't be everywhere, and so we also have the Apollo Connect program, where we're able to connect to those schools and train their staff. So we're able to train their staff in first aid. We're able to have a teleconnect with the teachers over there, who will then call us in for directions on what to do. We connect them with the local hospitals as well, so we enable them. It's called Shine Connect.
Right. Talk to me about non-communicable diseases and the kind of focus that you are actually putting on that.
Right. So actually, Apollo Shine is a Trojan horse. We are basically a health education company. We're trying to spread awareness about non-communicable diseases. According to Dr. Reddy, who's very passionate about this, there are only two ways you can combat NCDs, as they're called. This is through either early detection or through awareness. Early detection is what we hope to achieve through our screening, which is a basic screening at this point, but it's more about habit forming so that they will start getting their health checkups done regularly, which is a very important part of life.
But do children want to know about all this? Do schools and school kids and college kids want to know?
Absolutely not.
Not? Okay, I thought that would be your answer.
They're quite happy where they are. They're invincible and they should feel invincible. I think that's our job as adults, to give them that life. We want them to feel happy and confident.
But Kishore, they've also got to be made aware of the dangers that surround them. We have so much of drugs and so much of bad eating and, junk food and all sorts of things.
And bad information.
Bad information.
False information. So all this is there. So that's why we are the Trojan horse. We go in there as a health services provider. We are there for them when they get their bruises, scrapes and strains.
Yes.
We're there for them when they have their stomach pains and their headaches, right? But at each point, our nurses are trained to educate before they medicate. They ask questions to the children and ask them like, what time do they have dinner? What time did they sleep at night? How long they're on their phone? Kind of help them join the dotted line between choices and consequences.
Right.
So when they understand it themselves, we hope that these children will spread these messages to their friends.
Okay. What about the parents? How do they respond to you guys?
Sadly, not many parents are aware of us because
Really?
we're a
Even if their
quiet...
kids are in that school?
We just heard yesterday from a parent that they thought Apollo Shine is no longer in their school, and we've been in this very big school from 2018.
That's amazing.
So I think the core of everything is to have parents who are plugged into their children's lives.
Yes, so if the child doesn't go home and say, this is what's going on in my school, how is a parent ever going to know? Surely that's the role of a parent-teachers association, I would imagine, that they should be, bringing all of this to the notice of their association and hence their parents. They should all be taught of what's going on.
But I think when they're caught up between academics and discipline and handling all those issues, they have their plate full. So we in fact try to address this issue. We have an app called the Apollo Shine Parivar, which as it indicates is for the family.
Family, yes.
So the parents download that app and then they're able to get updates about their child. They get their annual screening reports. So parents who've taken the trouble to download this app, they will be included in.
Does it take you a lot of doing to actually, when you go into a school, first of all, at the first instance, does it take a lot of work on your part to actually convince first of all, the principal and then the senior teachers, maybe the governing body of the school? Is it difficult? Please tell me what is the real truth.
It is always a bit of a challenge. It's surprising because I think everyone's a little bit cynical these days. They're always wondering if there's some...
What's the catch?
What's the catch?
Yes, that's true.
Is Apollo trying to use this as a marketing platform?
Yes, is a plan.
Well, anything that has a logo on it in some way can be perceived as a marketing platform.
It's a brand, you see. That's the problem.
But I think Apollo Shine is something that is beneficial primarily for the parents. As a peace of mind tool, it's beneficial for the school to have someone there who's going to look after kids in times of need, even teachers when necessary. Students, of course, get their access to accurate information, not just the internet. And yeah, sure, if Apollo's brand gets out there and you find out about the hospital, why not?
Well, that's fine too, isn't it?
In that way.
How difficult is it for you to actually, since you look after the whole project, how easy or how difficult is it for you to actually be spreading your wings? I mean, you're talking to me about going into the Delhi area, you're going into, different parts of the country. How difficult is that?
Well, it's all about finding the right people, I think. 10 years is a long time to not be all over India, but then India is a very large country. So we try to make sure we have the right team when we get into these places, and once we identify the right people, we're able to see enough buy-in from the market, if I can call it that, but the schools and colleges in that region. That's when we can move in and expand.
You concentrate more on schools or colleges?
Equally. We are equally interested. It's the education community, the student community as a whole. That's who we look at.
Okay. Now, I know that not long ago, just a couple of days ago, maybe even yesterday, that you've actually had an event at one of the big colleges here. Tell me about that. What happened? How did it go?
So, we turned 10 this year. We didn't want to have a party or cut a cake. It would have been nice, but the team's mood is such that we felt that we should do something. So we looked back at all the information that we have collected over these years, and we put together a report on the 10 years of Apollo Shine. And that involved screening over 1 million students across the country.
That's a lot of children.
That's a lot of children. We didn't even realize this while we were doing it. Within that, we have 1 lakh college students that we have looked at. And when we broke down those analyticals in the beginning of the year, we were shocked by what we saw. And so we decided to do a slightly deeper dive into the college student segment. And since March this year, we screened 10,000 college students for non-communicable diseases. And that's the report that we launched at WCC College.
Right. When you do this kind of thing, when the students get together, do you find personally that they are talking amongst themselves about what's going on and what's happening on the stage or what these people are all about? Do you find that interest?
So this is again the important thing about Shine. When we started, we knew that if we went and lectured students, we would lose their interest in 5 seconds.
Exactly.
We are telling them not to do everything that they love to do.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not fun. But I think when you have the right speakers, the people who are passionate about it, and a lot of the doctors feel really strongly about this. They really want to connect with students and tell them, look, what's happening is scary. It seems like nothing today. It seems like just a Tetra Pak juice or just a samosa or just a night out with friends. But habits form. And then we are dealing with this in the hospital and you guys got to make a change. So we had the ministers speaking yesterday and all great speakers. So they connected really well. and the students were totally plugged in.
Okay, so non-communicable diseases, I mean, do the students really know what that is all about, Kishore? I mean, do they really understand where it's coming from?
I think today students are aware of these things. They are reading, they are plugged into the news, they are seeing what's happening around them. What they may not know is what state their body is in currently. That kind of checkup, that kind of information relevant to them as an individual isn't there too much. So they are curious, they want to know more. They hear about headline diseases like heart attacks and cancers, but they're associated with an older age.
Right. They don't think it'll ever touch them,
They don't know that obesity can cause at least 7 types of cancer or 13 types of cancers. So these things are eye-openers that we want to share with them and help them,
So would you say that the media should be playing a far, far, far greater role in educating people and maybe putting out more and more stuff about things like this? Is that what we in the media are guilty of not doing?
Guilty.
I know it's a strong word,
yeah.
But at the same time, we should be more aware then.
I think it's a collective responsibility. I think everyone should be more aware. I would start with parents always.
Surely.
Parents should be aware of these reports because they are directly bringing up their children. The media is a fantastic channel to take news out. I think hospitals need to do more studies like this and give this fodder to the media to convert into ammunition to reach the parents.
Do you think that the media would be amenable towards accepting this kind of information, putting it out, maybe television, maybe radio, maybe newspapers? Do you think that the media would actually respond to that sort of thing?
I think if you give them strong facts and you give them real cases of what has actually happened, they are happy to report on this. We need to give them that ammunition. That's
right.
important.
As long as it's the right information, of course, Kishore,
yes,
I would
definitely.
imagine that that's a very, very important thing.
Very
How
much.
would I, as a journalist,
Right.
actually know that what I'm being fed is right, is wrong? Is this what we should be saying?
Correct.
How do we control that? I mean, fake news is, I'm not saying that this is going to be fake, but at the same time, it's possible.
So it all comes down to the same thing, right? When you have credible healthcare providers working on this, putting their resources, their best resources into a project, working on it over a period of time, giving you actual data that has been collected with facts and saying that this is what is pointing towards a trend. And now we got to do something about it. You have stats from the hospital that's coming out as well. So we are seeing this from both sides today, from the education system as well as from the healthcare system.
Right, okay.
And then when you connect those and present it, it does present a very hard case.
Right. How are you going to go forward? What more can you see yourself doing? How do you see it spreading even more?
I think using technology is the most important way forward.
Meaning what?
Meaning we need to find a way to replicate our doctors in different places. We need to open up access to different parts of the country. The same person cannot be in different places.
Naturally.
You find a great person, it is rare. We have to admit it. It's luck sometimes that we have the wonderful people that we work with.
Yes, okay.
So how do I bring them to different parts of the country? I need to use technology. I need to use telemedicine.
Okay.
We need to use ways in which the teachers will be trained to administer care, primary care to students over there.
Right. And then do you actually see that you really need to use local people in a local area, in a local school? Is that the way that it will work much better?
Definitely. All we are doing is basically opening people's eyes. This is a communication and awareness program at the end of the day. If I can tell engaging stories to students, if I can get their attention, if I can gamify some of these experiences, that would be the way forward. It doesn't always need to be a shined room and a doctor and a nurse.
Right, exactly.
Right? But if I have the medical community telling interesting and exciting stories that capture the students' attention
Right.
in their local language, in English, it doesn't matter. It will work.
Okay. Do you do a lot in the local language now that you said that? Do you do a lot in different parts of the country in the local dialect or the local language that is spoken
So
there?
sadly, we don't. As much as I would like to, but the nurses themselves are all from the local neighborhoods.
Ah, that's nice. That
So
makes sense.
we are able to train them in the language that they went to college in, which all our nurses are BSc nurses, so they've all gone to college.
Right.
We train them in protocols and ways to work. But when they communicate with the students, they use the natural language of the locality.
Do you find from your experience that there are nurses who would like to do this rather than actually go into hospital care or nursing per se?
Right.
Do you find that people are wanting to do this? Because I would say it's a little bit laid back compared to what you've been trained for as a nurse or as a doctor. How does that work then, Kishore?
So this was our discovery. We didn't think about it till we started Apollo Shine.
I'm sure it makes sense, yes.
Nurses, again, come from a service background. They really want to make a difference. They want to work hard and help people.
Yes.
And they all plug into the healthcare system to do their best. Really hardworking bunch of people. I love them all. But what we saw is sometimes they get tired. The fatigue of working in a hospital can be overpowering sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Right? Must be quite difficult at times, yes.
Also at home, they need to sometimes proceed with family life. Yes. They have those other choices around them. So those time they need to take a break. So then those are the nurses who largely plug into school health.
Okay.
Because it's, like you said, a very easier life.
Right.
You're surrounded by happiness and joy.
Yes.
Little kids who are in love with you, literally sometimes.
In love with the nurse.
They come up with, with little roses and cards for my nurse.
How lovely.
And, it's, and when we have to change a nurse occasionally, they get really worked up. And they'll be like, no, where is our nurse? We need our nurse back. So it's very cute, and I think the nurses also fall in love with the kids.
I can imagine so, yes. Children are very lovable indeed.
It's a very positive, warm
thing,
environment.
Yes. So do you find, again, from your own experience, that when these kids approach the health room?
Yeah, the
health room. Do they open up with the nurses? Do they open up with the people who are there? Is it just one nurse in the room?
Depends on the size of the school. And the number of students, we increase the nurses and the beds accordingly.
You have beds there as well?
Yeah, just day beds for them to sit down. What we're trying to do is also connect them to the world of healthcare. Very often you enter a hospital the first time when there's someone
it's very forbidding.
Yeah,
it's very forbidding, absolutely, no doubt.
But that's no reason to avoid a hospital. You still need to go there when you need to.
Yes,
so putting off going to a hospital is also a problem.
Correct. So the children are excited to come in there and talk
to the little ones love it.
Yes?
They never come alone. There's always a gaggle of 5 or 6 of them coming in with that little finger cut, and they want to meet my nurse and get a bandage and go away. There are those.
Yeah.
The slightly older kids, the younger ones, the preteens, they do come in and they have conversations with the nurse. I think mental health is becoming a very, very important, an important issue today.
That's such an important thing today, isn't it? I mean, mental health in every area, in every age group, I would imagine. So do you find that the nurses are dealing with that as well?
Yeah, we train our nurses. They
like
do a
psychologists?
course. We have tied up with psychologists. We have in-house psychologists as well. The nurses go through a course on mental health first aid. So they are trained to spot these cases early and alert the school. So those things do happen. But largely the children come and they open up. Because for them, there's a regiment of the school and then there's the home. So they find Apollo Shine as a sort of a neutral space.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very personal question now. If as a child I came into that room and maybe I confided in that nurse with something that's maybe a bit not quite cricket, is it possible that that nurse will communicate that to the school authorities? I would be in trouble tomorrow. They would, probably be annoyed that I've discussed, maybe the teacher hit me or whatever, something very basic as that. So does a child feel vulnerable when they actually have to come in there and tell the nurse what happened, for instance, in the school?
So I think the focus of the entire program is to win the confidence of the children. And that is by keeping these things in confidence.
Oh, it is kept in confidence?
So the nurse definitely keeps things in confidence until she finds or hears of a red flag, at which point it comes to us at Shine.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't go to the school?
No, because it's still in the medical domain. I mean, I would think, to my knowledge, it's something that the child is going through. It could be a deeper issue of abuse or something like that.
Yes, you can never tell.
In which case it comes to us. The nurse immediately escalates it to her nursing supervisor. And if she can't take the call, it moves to our medical director. And then we take it from there to the legal teams and do what is necessary.
But I think a child would be frightened, Kishore, to maybe speak their minds openly, I would have imagined.
It's a very, very deep subject. I can't say that Apollo Shine has done a deep dive into it.
No.
We are there to support the kids who do speak out. Right? We're there for them, definitely.
Okay.
But it is a deep, dark subject.
So do you guys ever intervene in a family situation? if there's a child who's come in with a problem in the parents or single parent or whatever, do you all ever get involved in that?
Well, we are bound by law to report such matters. So if anything comes up, we are bound by law to report on this, and we follow the process. Whatever the process is done by us.
Right. Yeah. Looking forward.
Yeah.
What is your goal? How many people, how many children do you want to reach? How many centers do you want to open? Now, don't tell me the whole country, because that's not possible. So tell me roughly, you must have some ballpark figure in your head.
Not really. We just want to make sure that we're there in different parts of the country. That's our first goal. And this is pretty organic. What happens is people hear about us, they reach out to us, they're coming from a particular region. Then we try and see if there's any other interest in that region, we grow it over there.
Okay.
So we're still in a very organic state of mind. Maybe now that we are 10, we're going to start thinking about targets and numbers.
I can imagine so.
But yeah.
So in your total, how many people work for this project in your mind, at the moment, currently?
Well, in Apollo Shine, like I said, we have about 125 doctors, 150 nurses, and 20% back office that runs them.
So that is all over the country?
They're based largely in Chennai, and we have supervisors in 3 or 4 cities.
Right. How many in Tamil Nadu? Did you tell me 75 or 85 schools in Tamil Nadu?
Yeah, we have 85 schools in Tamil Nadu.
As many as that?
Colleges, schools and
all over the state? What about Pondicherry?
Not yet in Pondicherry.
Why not? It's so close by.
Same thing. We need to go out there, present our case, convince people, and then they're going to think. So we go through that whole cycle of building trust over there.
So next question, how long does it take to build that trust? Because trust is a very nebulous thing, Kishore. You have to agree with me. How do you build that trust? You can't build it just on a brand. So do they build it on your personal credibility, or how do they do it? How do you do it? Do you have to go out yourself often?
I used to right at the beginning. Today we pick and choose our battles. I have a small team that does this as well. We are trying to do this digitally, and the first thing is to present our case in some form to these schools and colleges. So they see it in the news, they see it on channels, they see it through our social media, things like that, and maybe someone there reaches out. Otherwise, it's still through people who hear the Apollo name and say, we want Apollo on campus.
Right. If you try to divide it gender-wise, boys and girls, are the girls more receptive towards what we are talking about here, 100%. Or do you find the girls are?
Yeah. This may not make me very popular with the guys, but it is true. The girls are definitely far more receptive.
Because boys sometimes don't care, do they?
Yeah, they are, like I said, they are
macho.
Invincible. Right?
They're macho.
So
they want to.
They are quite happy, and they say they can handle anything. While I'm saying that, it's also important that when we screen students, this is how I'm able to say this with so much confidence. When we go to a college, say, and we're screening students, because in school everyone comes in. The teachers bring them in there. They don't have the luxury of choice.
Oh, okay.
But in college, the boys will not show up. All the girls will show up, and they will be there, And the girls are always looking for more information to take back home, to look after a sick one, a parent, a grandparent. So they engage with us a lot. It's very gratifying to see that,
I'm sure it is, but is there no other way to convince boys to get a little more with it?
Yeah, we have to keep working, we have to keep trying.
Okay.
So now with this new NCD thing, when we're talking about this being India's largest study on college students, we're seeing some attention. Now we are actually screening, as we speak, a couple of boys' colleges in Chennai.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So you're doing obviously a very pretty good job here, Kishore. I do appreciate very much your time, because you've come in and you've explained to me something I didn't know much about. I've heard the name, but not necessarily what they do, how they do it. And it's a great number of people. And I wish you continued success. I wish you all the best. And I want to thank you so much for giving me your time today. Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed. Well, it was great for us to be talking to Kishore here about this amazing project that he's involved with. I can't think of anything that could be more useful to children, parents, teachers, families, and I think that this is just an amazing way to go forward. It's been great to have you join us here on Going Beyond, and don't forget to keep watching us every single weekend. Till then, goodbye and take care.